Greetings, surface dwellers of the internet. I am the Cybermole, and we have just finished the month of April. April means spring, and spring means new things. New things such as new technologies, new wildlife sightings, and new flowers. I think I promised last episode that I was going to talk about some of the wildflowers, and I'm going to do just that. Only the wildflowers. The larger, more robust plant life deserves their own episode. Especially one plant in particular. So, in no particular order, you know what? I'm going to actually start with the California poppy, the state flower of the state of California. Some few hundred years ago, back in the mid-1500s, Spanish explorers came to the coasts of California, and there upon the coastal hills they witnessed something that they could not accept nor truly comprehend: smokeless fire. Some volunteers went ashore. And this is a legend concerning the, quote, discovery of the California poppy. Now, as a historian, I am going to openly admit that discover is absolutely the wrong word to use. The native sovereign nations of California had already known about the flower for several thousand years and have been using it, even still today, for traditional medicine and cosmetics. Time to butcher some Latin, Russian, and German. Here we go. The Russian scientific vessel Rurik, captained by one Otto von Kotzebue, carried a pair of German botanists, one being Adalbert von Cosimo, the other being Johann Friedrich von Eschholz. It was Cosimo that gave the California golden poppy the genus and species recognition within taxonomy of Eschscholzia californica, the first species to be named within Eschscholzia. The California poppy became the official state flower of California in 1903 after being signed into law by Governor George Pardee. In this summary of wildflowers here on the farm, only the California poppy is going to be getting a history lesson. Everything else is just a summary with the taxonomical names and the best guess that a particular AI flower identification website has been able to help me with identifying these flowers. I suspect what we have here is the common fiddleneck, known as, okay, time to really butcher some Latin, huh? We're going to have all sorts of fun killing Latin. Amsichia menziesii. Menziesii, sure. Amsichia menziesii, the common fiddleneck, is what I guess what we have here, due to the fact that, well, I'm not on the coast for a coastal fiddleneck, nor am I in a desert for a desert fiddleneck. It makes sense, right? Sound logic? Next flower. Both the common fiddleneck and what you see here, the common storksbill, or Erodium secutarium, are both California natives. I will introduce the non-natives, I think, at the end of this little video. This plant is also known as the red stem filary, or pinweed. Up next, another California native, the dark throat shooting star, Primula passiflora. I remember squishing the unripe seed pods and making them squirt. They're kind of fun, and I want to save the few that I have found for cultivating purposes. I would like to report that this is gray mule's ears, or Wathia heleniades. However, I cannot do that with any degree of certainty because the entire Wathia genus is commonly referred to as mule's ears. There's quite a few of them, and Am I correct in this being gray mule's ears? I don't know. Again, artificial intelligence plant identification websites. I don't fully properly trust them yet. The iris genus has an accepted 310 species within it. Of those, aside from the ones that Mom has planted in the garden, we have, here on the farm, I'm willing to guess 2. The first being the ground iris, or Iris macrosiphon, the other being the Rocky Mountain iris, Iris missouriensis. I could also have these two backwards because, I'm using artificial intelligence. And again, I don't really trust artificial intelligence. Or I could have neither, and these are something that artificial intelligence has lied to me about. This is Pedicularis densiflora, more commonly known as Indian warrior or warrior's plume lousewort. Here's the thing about this plant, though. It's not entirely a flower all by its lonesome like all of the others have been. This is a root parasitic plant. It's a parasite. It wants to cling a hold to the exposed or semi-exposed roots of plants, normally manzanita, instead of growing all by its lonesome. It can grow all by its lonesome, but it doesn't like it. Miner's lettuce, Claytonia perfoliata, is named such, miner's lettuce, due to it being eaten by the miners and 49ers during the California Gold Rush. This is another plant known by the native sovereign nations of California, and I have yet to eat it. Bit of a heads up, though, for those who do wish to eat it. It may be eaten both raw, cooked, or a bit boiled, similar to spinach, and like spinach, it can pick up toxic amounts of sodium oxalate. So there's some fun nutritional info. Didn't expect that to happen, did ya? I didn't. This is bicolor lupine, taxonomically known as Lupinus bicolor. Yes, literally. Thank you, originality of science. The Latin for bicolor lupine is Lupinus bicolor. Don't worry, it has a couple of other fun names. Lindley's annual lupine, pygmy-leaved lupine, or miniature lupine. Pick the one you want to use. Now, I feel much more comfortable about being able to tell these two plants apart. The first one being the Pacific pea, Lathyrus vestitus, and the second one being the Sierra pea, Lathyrus nivedensis. I'm having a field day with this Latin, holy snot. I have been curious about this one since I was a kid. This is purple sanicle, also known as shoe buttons, taxonomical name Sanicula bipinnaphida, and in the nation of Canada, this particular flower is considered endangered. Another plant that artificial intelligence and I are a little shaky on, the western buttercup, Ranunculus occidentalis. Occidentalis? Sure, occidentalis. Ranunculus occidentalis was used by the native sovereign nations in the Shasta region of California as part of recognizing when the summer salmon runs were beginning. This is Pacific hound's tongue, Adelinea grandis. And this is a one-off because it is the only species within the genus Adelinea, which of course is within the family of, oh snot, here we go again with Latin, Boraginaceae, which holds all of the forget-me-nots. I'm never going to remember this, am I? This is Calicortis ptolemaei, also known as pussy ears. Now, the website that I used, when it gave me the name pussy ears, threw me for a little bit of a loop because when I went to double check, I instead got Cyanotus somaliensis, which is a flowering plant from Somalia, as in the nation over in East Africa. It's a good thing that this plant that you are looking at now also has a secondary or much more common name of Tolmie's star tulip, named by and after a William Fraser Tolmie. I have talked about cover crops in a few other episodes already. So here we go with our more regular, the most bountiful, most present one here on the farm, hairy vetch, Vicia villosa. And Vicia villosa, hairy vetch. I consider this particular plant invasive. It is a native of Europe. Where in Europe? I don't know. I don't really care. I don't want it. And the states of Alaska, Kansas, Oregon agree with me. Some parts of Europe also do not want it because it is not native in all of Europe. And the nation of Japan is also trying to get rid of it. So, hey, I've got friends all over the place. This was initially planted as a nitrogen fixer and as just a soil binder to prevent erosion. The other vetch of European origin, common vetch, Vicia sativa, is another one of these cover crops used as grazing for cattle and horses, seem to do particularly well. Bit of an interesting thing, though, concerning common vetch, it is listed biblically as tare, as in the parable of the tares. And it has been eaten by humans, with carbonized remains being found in Neolithic sites located in places such as Turkey and Bulgaria, and in possible pre-dynastic sites in ancient Egypt. This is not a comprehensive list of all of the wildflowers on the farm, or even of all the plants. I have not touched on the trees and the brush. The main reason being, some of these flowers will not bloom or blossom until summer. The other reason, some of these plants deserve full proper episodes all for their own. I will get to manzanita. I promise. I will. Until then, please like, subscribe, activate notifications, and get ready for next time, because I'm not entirely sure what I've got planned for next month.